Hello everyone. Welcome to Happy Science Meditation Seminar. I'm Bobby Mai, Minister of Happy Science. Thank you for joining us today. Firstly, let us recite Prayer to the Lord. Prayer to the Lord. Our Lord, El Cantare, you are the source of all light, all power, all wisdom, and all love. May you give us light, give us power, give us wisdom, and give us love. O Lord, our Father, please protect this planet of love earth. Protect us from all the evil and open a future for us. O Lord, thank you for giving us light. We give thanks from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you again for joining us today. Today's subject is the True Eightfold Path, number 5. The Eightfold Path is a reflection method to discover the true self, which is the right state of mind that can be found by examining our thoughts and deeds objectively. Shakyamuni Buddha, 2600 years ago, established 8 checking points through which people can examine their own thoughts and deeds, such as right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right living, right effort, right will, and right meditation. Righteousness in the Eightfold Path does not imply a simple set of moral behaviors against which people can judge themselves to be right or wrong. It means a right state that can only be attained through deep contemplation. Today's subject is right thought, acceptance of responsibility. Right thought means to examine carefully the thoughts in your mind. Self-reflection on right thought is to inspect the thoughts you had. It is to ask, what did you think in the mind today? Let's examine whether the thoughts in your mind are good or not from the eyes of the Lord. Today's subject of right thought is to check if you have the attitude of self-help. Do you have the willingness to make efforts of self-help to truly improve yourself? Or conversely, have you not put all the blame on your environment or other people? This verification is necessary. In the subject of right thought, one of the most important things is to discover the aspect of the self which tends to lay blame on one's environment and other people. You have to confront this tendency, or you will never be able to practice self-reflection. You absolutely have to get rid of such cowardice. I have repeatedly said that before blaming other people or your environment, you should once again re-examine yourself profoundly. What you are now is the result of your own judgments and choices. Is it not? If a different person is placed under the same circumstances or in the same affliction, he or she will live a different life. Therefore, self-help begins with the elimination of your tendency to blame other people and your environment. You should first be aware of your own responsibility. This awareness of responsibility will move you to make efforts of self-help. Only after you have realized that you are entirely responsible for the present state of your mind or environment can you have a will to rise on your own feet to overcome your unfavorable situation. On the other hand, if you continue to lay the blame on things like your parents, environment, friends, colleagues, poverty, lack of money, and bad weather, you cannot possibly make progress. When it comes to taking responsibility, you must first look your situation in a totally honest way. And if you feel that you have failed in what you are doing, then you must admit that this is your responsibility. Only then will you find the next step to follow. However, if instead of this, you try to place the blame on the people around you or external conditions, then you will never be able to improve your lot. An ability to admit a mistake, even if it will place you in an awkward position, is an indispensable attitude that will allow you to develop a great spirit of independence. When you have made a mistake, it is only natural that you do not want to take the responsibility alone, and instead try to blame it on all sorts of external factors. Actually, there is some truth in this, and if the cause are analyzed, usually it's not the fault of any one person, but that everybody involved has a share in the blame. However, you will never be impressed by those who make every effort to find justification for their failure. On the other hand, someone who can take responsibility that is larger than others expect of them creates a strong impression that they are rather exceptional. It is clear whether or not you have actually done something yourself that caused a problem. In other words, you may be able to avoid taking a direct responsibility for an accident. You may be able to say quite honestly that it was not your fault, but there can also be indirect responsibility you have to accept. If you admit that you share responsibility for what happened, then you will not want to place the blame on others. If you think that somebody else is to blame, you are likely to say something that can hurt someone else. However, if you can pause at the very moment you are about to speak, thinking that you have at least secondary responsibility for what happened, you can avoid speaking sharply. Even if you do speak your mind, it will take a softer form. Taking responsibility is very strongly connected to the practice of self-reflection according to the Eightfold Path. Now let us watch Master Oka's lecture titled Lecture on the Method of Self-Reflection.
A lecture on the method of self-reflection. The second thing that I would like to say is that you must do away with the mind that blames others. A mind that does not blame others is a mind that does not find blame in its environment. Decades ago, before arriving into this world, each of us chose our parents that we would be born to. We do not know if the environment that we chose was the best. Other parents may have been better. However, at the very least, we chose the parents we would be born to, and we were aware of the environment that we would grow up in. We knew that the purpose of being born into this environment is for our own spiritual training. Furthermore, many people are born into this world having made some decisions about their professions too. They already decided on the kind of career they want to spend their lives pursuing, what kind of partner they want to marry, and what kind of children they want to have. Yet, even though they have gained all these things exactly as planned, they are still not satisfied. They think, this is not the way it was supposed to turn out. When they enter the professional world, not only do they judge their happiness and unhappiness based on the environment they were born and raised in, but on their relationships with others as well. They think that their current circumstances and unhappiness is the result of someone else's doing. Or they think that they are in their current state of unhappiness because no one helped them out. Now, those thoughts are only natural. However, what I want you to understand is that while placing the blame on others may afford you a moment of consolation, it is not an answer to the problem. While blaming others may bring you comfort, it is not a solution. You say that others are to blame for your misery. But what exactly do you want done to them? Would it satisfy you if they disappeared from the face of the earth? Even if they did disappear, it would not change what has already happened. You may have your satisfaction, but you are not any closer to a resolution. Some situations might have come up because they were meant to. So the question is, how much of the meat of self-reflection can you glean from those experiences? It is essential that you take a good, long, rational look at what you need to do in order to make a more positive you. In the first place, you are not a model of all virtues, and second, the course of life is littered with all sorts of obstacles. We could say that you are casting off while your ship is still undergoing repairs. Why then do you masquerade as and try to convince everyone else that you are a perfect person? Do not blame the ship or wind for your inability to progress if your ship is slow or the wind blows against you. Make improvements on your ship, fix your helm, learn more about sailing technique. and combine the wisdom of those around you. There is a way. Blaming the storms about you will do you no good. Identify what you can do for yourself and start there. To put it in different words, the mind that does not blame others possesses a spirit of self-help, making self-efforts. It is the spirit of self-discipline and improvement. People who have the spirit of self-reliance do not blame others. They do not blame the situation they are in. They play the cards that were dealt to them and cut open a path with what they are given. These are the people who will evade the gates of hell. So if you want to know if you are going to heaven or hell, there is no need to ask me. Reflect over yourself and check whether you have a solid tendency for self-help and making self-efforts. Or perhaps you will discover the opposite, that you have a stronger tendency to blame others or the environment for the state of your happiness or unhappiness. Judge between these two traits, and it will become clear to you where you are going.
Thank you, Master Okawa. How was the lecture? He showed us that you chose the environment, your job, and your partner, and that all on your responsibility. Blaming others or environment does not solve any problems. The mind of self-help will give you the solution. Now let us practice self-reflection on the mind of blaming environment and others. Discover the aspect within yourself which tends to lay blame on one's environment and other people. This tendency is what obstructs your attitude of self-help. These are checking points. First one, look back on your past and check if you have attributed the reason for your unhappiness to your environment or something that others have done. Precisely, when you look back again, you may find that things happened as a result of the choice you made. How often did you say to yourself, "It's not my fault"? Check if you have the willingness to acknowledge your own contribution to your problems. Second checkpoint. If you find such a tendency in your mind, try to eliminate it. Be aware of your own responsibility. Checkpoint 3. Try to identify solutions to the problems. When you see your own contribution to the problem, a reasonable solution will usually surface. Now, let us practice self-reflection. Firstly, let us recite prayer to Guardian and Guiding Spirit. Prayer to Guardian and Guiding Spirits. My Guardian and Guiding Spirits, deep inside of me, you are the fountain of life, the light of hope, the source of wisdom, and the shield of courage. Every day may you help me develop my soul and refine my mind. Every day may you give me inspiration and show me the right path to follow. Please protect me from all evil and guide me in living a better life. For this I give my thanks. Now let us practice right thought. Please sit straight and close your eyes lightly. Start breathing deeply. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe deeply and try to calm your mind. Now let us begin the self-reflection. Checkpoints are shown on the screen. How was the reflection? Could you accept the responsibility on everything happening around you? Now let us practice meditation. Meditation for realization of hope. Just follow the guidance. Let us start.
Let us now move on to the second meditation, meditation for the realization of goals. Meditate on what you want to accomplish in the coming year. Envision yourself realizing these goals. I'm sure that each of you has something that you want to accomplish more than anything else in the next year. I'd like you to visualize it very hard. Now, sit up straight, steady your breathing, and close your eyes gently. Think of what you want to accomplish the most this year and enter the meditation of the realization of goals. Tell your mind of your goals for this year and call to mind your deep conviction to accomplish and realize them. Begin. End your meditation. This meditation is very important because you focus on a concrete goal like the one for next year. During your meditation, you focus your will on the course that you want your life to take over the next year, or what you want to become like in 1 year. And it's important to make a habit of reflecting on whether you have accomplished the goal at the end of the year. Picture yourself a year from now, and focus strongly on what you want to happen. Then, reflect on how you do at the end of the year. Compare where you are to where you want to be, and you will grow and progress greatly. Without goals, there can be no progress. Without goals, there's no passion. Therefore, it's vital that you define your goals and ideals and focus on achieving them.
How was your meditation? Your life is really depending on what you are visualizing in the mind. Eightfold Path is the method to restore your true self, which starts from the self-responsibility. So please practice every day. Thank you for joining us today. I'll see you next week. I think I'll see you at the temple in Atlanta. By then, so long. Bye-bye.